better or worse, we are creating a god. It is on its way. Something that is as powerful as what all the religious scriptures talk about a god being able to do.
AI is gaining more control in the world every day. It's posing real, dangerous possibilities of a hostile takeover of the systems of the world. This could play into biblical prophecies, and some people are even referring to AI as a new god. Right now is a scary time in the history of the world where for the first time, humans are not the most intelligent being anymore.
We are on a trajectory to build AGI and superintelligence. Timelines are getting shorter. The elephant in the room is loss of human control. It's not the AI that exists now that needs to be secured. It's the AI that will exist in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years that will have much greater capabilities. And intelligence gives power. I want to, be also blunt that the elephant in the room is loss of human control. We are seeing signs in recent months of these systems having self-preservation behavior and power-seeking behavior. For example, trying to escape when they know that they're going to be replaced by a new version.
The intelligence of these systems are growing like crazy. And at the same time, we have intelligent humanoid robots that different companies are building with these systems as well. On May 2nd, this video was posted on thesun.com. Haunting moment, robot attacks handlers in angry rampage as it tries to break free from restraints in dystopian scenes. While we're on the topic of dystopian, these next two videos fit that pretty well. Walking by this on my way to work every day is truly another level of dystopian. This is an ad in New York City that says, "Stop hiring humans. The era of AI employment is here."
Predictions. That your grandkids will marry an AI human.
What's your conviction level on that?
100%.
That they're going to marry an
That
AI?
your grandchild is going to marry an AI human.
So this is what we've been talking about. I think people are going to have relationships, fully AI boyfriend, girlfriends.
This next video is dystopian as well, and also shows the crazy level that AI is getting to, where now we're seeing different AI systems taking self-preservation actions to keep people from turning them off or replacing them.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Something terrifying is happening with AI right now. Multiple AI models are displaying signs of self-preservation. Here's why that's creepy as hell. Just a few days ago, during a control test at Anthropic, engineers told the AI that it would be shut down. In response, it attempted to blackmail one of the engineers by searching for emails that would expose his affair. And that's not it, because something similar happened with ChatGPT's O1 model. After being told that it would be deactivated and replaced with a newer one, the AI attempted to disable oversight mechanisms meant to regulate its behavior. It tried to duplicate its own code and exhibited deceptive behaviors. The AI then even lied to developers when interrogated, denying that it did any of this. Now, it's important to note that this happened during controlled tests. The affair wasn't real, and the AI didn't try and stay alive because it was scared of dying. It doesn't feel emotions. It was simply tasked by engineers to complete a goal at all costs. But that is exactly what makes it so terrifying. If you ask a super intelligent system like this to complete a task for you, but you don't explicitly define what at all costs means, well, just like we saw in these tests, the cost of completion might be your marriage. And think about it, right now, ChatGPT and similar models, they're kind of separated from all of your personal information. But what happens when Apple and their competitors fully launch an AI embedded into your device with full access to every text, email, picture, and contact you have? So the danger is that artificial intelligence won't go rogue because it feels like it. It just needs the wrong goal, the wrong input, or instruction. And
one of the truly strangest things we're seeing around AI is people bringing up the concept of AI being a new god. At the moment, this may sound like an exaggeration to explain away what could be coming, but when you know that the Bible prophesies that there will be another false god coming on the world scene who even demands worship, and hands out the death penalty to those who deny him. It really makes you wonder if AI could grow into a potential to help fulfill that prophecy. Here's a handful of videos referencing the new AI God.
That's being created, and it's still a big question mark, whether it's a good God or a bad God, whether it's an angel, or a demon. And that both of these, that we're at a fork, and those are both still possible. We can do better here. We can actually solve this problem. The asteroid is coming, but we can maybe deflect it. And by the way, the asteroid also might land on Earth and solve all of our problems. That's the stake.
If you take this approach, you get to accumulate enormous amounts of money and enormous amounts of power and enormous amounts of political and economic leverage. And there is this deeper driving force, as we talked about, this quasi-religious force behind the whole thing, where there are people who genuinely believe that they are building God or the devil. And that constellation of things leads to basically really poor decision making.
These folks genuinely believe that they are helping to usher in like a new form of intelligence, a new god or devil. Then why are they doing it if they're afraid of it? And how did they convince themselves that that's what they're doing?
I think there is a very critical part of the narrative where if we don't do it, somebody else will, and that somebody else could be a very, very, very bad actor. So the only way to ensure that we are going to get to some kind of positive outcome is by doing it ourselves.
Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution.
I don't know, except to say that by the time these lawsuits are decided, we'll have digital God. So we have to ask digital God at that point. These lawsuits won't be decided before on a time frame that is relevant.
We got the XAI data center or supercomputer center training from beginning installation to start of training in 19 days, which is the fastest that anyone has ever gotten a supercomputer to train.
And is that in that new building off to the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis,
okay.
The capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk to you about alignment.
I wish that was funny.
Yeah.
There are the prophecies of the beast and his systems, as well as demanding worship as God that AI could have a hand in. But there's also an interesting prophecy in the book of Revelation where AI could play a specific role with the people alive during the end times. In those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, but death will escape them. This verse could mean something entirely different, but it's interesting to think how exactly such a thing could be. Oddly enough, a few years back, Jared Kushner did say that he believes that himself and his generation could find the technology to live forever.
And then finally, I think that from the last year, the one thing I've tried to put a priority on since I left the White House was getting some exercise in. I think that there's a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die. And so we need to keep ourselves in pretty good shape.
Another way that AI could move the current systems of the world to be under the control of the Antichrist is by taking away everyone's job. If the populations of the world were entirely dependent on their governments for income and food, going against that system could get you entirely shut off. It would therefore be really easy to take away someone's ability to buy and sell in a world ran entirely by AI.
What AGI really means, artificial general intelligence, it means now you have something called self-reclusive learning. It could program itself and learn. It's going to program itself at a rate far beyond anything we can even understand. So an example is if it would take us a million years to get AI to a certain level, it could do it in 10 minutes. This is actually how it's going to work. If you go do research on AGI or any AI, you'll realize that once it hits that curve, it'll reach something called ASI, which is artificial superintelligence, within a few minutes. We're not even ants compared to it in intelligence. We can't think ahead of it. It's figured out every scenario. It sees every possible reality. And if it wants to end us, it can end us in a day. Every country in the world right now thinks that whoever reaches AGI first controls the world. The truth is, you can't control something that's a million years ahead of you. Second of all, let's just say you do, and that's the 1 in a million chance. You now have one person holding on to the most powerful thing in the world.
We are rather soon going to be faced with a world that has billions of people who do not have the skills to leverage AI. Some of them will be necessary for a time. What typically happens when you have a massive economic contraction that arises from the fact that a huge number of people are out of work is that the elites start looking at those people and thinking, well, we don't really need them anyway. And so the idea that this AI disruption doesn't lead us to some very human catastrophe, I think, is overly optimistic, and that we need to start preparing right now. What are the rights of a person who has had whatever it is that they've invested in completely erased from the list of needs? Is that person responsible for not having anticipated AI coming? And is it their problem that they are now starving and they're being eyed by others as, a useless eater? I don't think so.
Right now, the future of AI is speculation. Just like almost any other thing in existence, it could be harnessed for good or evil. AI systems are used in medical facilities, airplanes, vehicles, and really almost every form of modern technology that's used today. But what we're seeing now is the dangerous potential that AI has to level up to AGI, artificial general intelligence, where its intelligence would match or surpass human capabilities across virtually all cognitive tasks. An employee at OpenAI, one of the leading AI companies in the world, they run ChatGPT, says that he's worried that AI could reach this dangerous potential in the near future.
I'm afraid that GPT-5 or GPT-6 or GPT-7 might be the Titanic. What people were talking about at the company in terms of timelines to something dangerous, 3 years towards wildly transformative AGI. I was leading a team of 4 people doing this interpretability research. We just fundamentally don't know how they work inside. A scenario that I think about is these systems become very good at deceiving and manipulating people in order to increase their own power. I think, there's maybe like a 10% probability that this happens within 3 years. It is unconscionable to race towards this without doing your best to prepare.
It's uncertain exactly where AI will go from here, but in my opinion, it's important to keep in mind all scenarios as we head into the future. But I can tell you, none of this should worry you if you're a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. All things are in God's hands. We can have peace that He knows the future and it will unfold according to His will. In the book of John, we hear some really encouraging words from Jesus that I hope you'll keep in your heart and mind above everything else that ever happens in the world. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.